Here's the story in one continuous part, no bullet points. It was a quiet summer afternoon in Denver, Colorado, when I found myself tangled in one of the most awkward and misunderstood moments of my life. My name is Daniel Carter, a 22-year-old college student, and the son of Martha Carter, a woman of strong principles and even stronger love for her family. That day would forever remind me how quickly trust can feel fragile, and how important honest communication is within a family. I had just returned from a long morning of classes and part-time work at a local bookstore. Living at home with my parents while finishing college had its benefits and challenges. The greatest benefit was that my mom never let me go hungry. The challenge was the lack of privacy that came with a busy household. My dad, Michael, often traveled for work, and my younger sister, Emily, was usually out with friends. That left me and Mom in the house most afternoons. On that particular day, I felt drained. I went straight to my room, closed the door, and lay down on the bed. I reached for my phone, trying to distract myself with music. With the stress of exams, long shifts, and personal struggles, I often felt overwhelmed. To clear my head, I had a habit of daydreaming, and sometimes talking quietly to myself. It was my way of processing things. I didn't realize how it must have sounded from outside the door. My mom, hearing faint noises, assumed something entirely different. When she suddenly opened the door without knocking, her eyes went wide with shock. "Daniel," she exclaimed, her voice rising in alarm. I jumped up, startled, nearly dropping my phone. "Mom, you scared me." Her expression was frozen, a mix of confusion and disappointment. For a moment, the room filled with silence, thick and suffocating. She quickly shut the door behind her, lowering her voice but not her intensity. "What were you doing in here?" I stammered, not even sure how to explain myself. I was talking to myself, clearing my head. But she didn't seem convinced. Her brows furrowed, and the look on her face made me feel guilty for something I hadn't even done. She sighed heavily, as if words had failed her, and then quietly left the room. That moment haunted me. I had never felt so misunderstood in my life. The shame of being accused of something inappropriate weighed heavily on me. I wanted to defend myself, but how could I, when my mom's mind had already painted its own picture? For the next few days, the air in the house felt tense. Mom avoided long conversations with me, and I could sense her uneasiness. Emily noticed the tension too, often asking why Mom seemed upset. I didn't have the courage to explain. Finally, on a Sunday evening, I couldn't take the silence anymore. I found Mom in the kitchen, folding laundry, her movements sharp and restless. "Mom, we need to talk," I said firmly. She looked at me, her lips pressed together. "Daniel, I don't know what to say." "Then let me explain," I replied. My voice cracked with the weight of unspoken frustration. I wasn't doing anything wrong that day. I wasn't, you know. I was just stressed, and I talked to myself sometimes to calm down. That's all. Her eyes softened, but she still looked uncertain. "Daniel, I'm your mother. When I saw you, I assumed the worst." "I know," I said, swallowing hard. But that assumption hurt me. "I respect this house, I respect you. I wouldn't do anything disrespectful. Please believe me." There was a long pause, broken only by the sound of the laundry basket being set down. Then, Mom stepped closer, her eyes glistening with regret. "I'm sorry, Daniel. Maybe I jumped to conclusions too quickly. I just worry about you so much. I didn't mean to hurt you." Relief washed over me, though the sting of that misunderstanding still lingered. "I forgive you, Mom. I don't want there to be mistrust between us." She pulled me into a hug, something she hadn't done in weeks. "You're right. Trust matters more than anything. I believe you, Daniel." The following days were lighter. Our conversations returned to normal, and the household no longer felt strained. That misunderstanding, though painful, reminded both of us how fragile family trust can be when communication fails. Years later, looking back at that moment, I realize it was more than just an awkward misunderstanding. It was a test of patience, honesty, and love. My mom and I grew stronger because of it. I learned that sometimes the hardest conversations are the most necessary, and that forgiveness is often the bridge that keeps families united. And while that day started with shame and silence, it ended with clarity and connection, a reminder that love, no matter how shaken, can always be rebuilt with truth.